What's happening, guys? Today I want to talk about what you should do if you feel like you must overeat. So anytime you're in a cutting phase, you're obviously going to be dealing with hunger. At some point, hunger is going to become an issue. And actually in the earlier stages of reverse, not only is hunger still an issue, but a lot of times it's even more of an issue, which that's a different topic, which I'll cover in a different video on a different day. But we're going to be dealing with hunger when we go through these phases. There's just no doubt about it. And sometimes people will just get to a point where they just feel like they're going to break and they just have to eat. And I want to talk about how there are actually instances where I would say, even to a client, okay, like go ahead and overeat, eat more food. But we need to be careful at what we're eating and how we go about doing it and what makes sense. So what I often find is a lot of times the hunger is kind of less to do with actual hunger and more to do with the desire to eat something in particular. All right, so maybe something just sounds really good, like, man, I could really go for some cookies or some ice cream or some pizza or whatever else. These things sound really good and we just want to eat those. But what I will say is if you are really hungry and you just feel like you're going to break and you have to eat, go ahead and eat, but make it as straight protein as possible. Like literally just straight protein, or as much as possible. So things like egg whites or chicken breasts with no skin or skinless turkey breast or things like this that is going to be filling, high protein, not going to come with much or any of the carbs and fats that come along with it. And the reason I say this is because protein is just so hard to be stored as fat. It's damn near impossible. I mean, it's not impossible, but it has to go through a lot of processes to have this happen. And it's got the high thermic effect of food. So I talk about this a lot, but just real briefly, the thermic effect of protein is about 30%, meaning that your body uses 30% of the calories that you eat from protein, just processing it through the body. Whereas the thermic effect of carbs is about 5 to 8%, and the thermic effect of fat is only about 2 to 3%. So it has a very high thermic effect. Not only that, but it's very filling. So if you're actually hungry, you would want to eat something that would actually fill you up, right? So you can eat these calories and not eat as many calories because it's going to help you feel fuller. And quite honestly, most people have a hard time eating enough protein anyway. That's what the number one macronutrient that people struggle to hit is the amount of protein that I give them. So a lot of times you'd be better off just getting more protein anyway. And it's just not going to cause any major problems, and you're unlikely to store extra body fat and go crazy by eating more protein. In fact, there was even a study that was published recently that looked at this, and they actually showed that when people overate on protein, even over and above their normal habitual calories, they didn't gain excess body fat or gain weight, even though they ate more calories, but it was from protein. So this is what I'm telling you, like protein is a really safe option. If you're really hungry and you have to eat and you feel like you're gonna break, go ahead. Eat some extra calories, right? Just make it protein. I like to do, if I'm in this situation, I don't do this a lot, but if I am, I like to eat a big serving of egg whites. It's straight protein. It's very filling, very voluminous. You can eat a lot of it for very little calories and get a crap load of protein, and it's just going to really keep things from getting crazy. So, like I said, if you find yourself in a point where you're like, I'm just really hungry and I have to eat, and then you think, well, I should eat some extra protein, but like, yeah, I don't want to eat protein, then you need to stop and question yourself. Like, are you really that hungry? Or is it just you want to eat something in particular? There is a difference. Hunger can be very psychological, more so than just a physiological response. So question yourself. If you don't want to eat the protein, maybe you really aren't that hungry. Maybe you just really have this kind of desire to eat some food that you probably haven't been eating a whole lot because you've been dieting, which I get it. Trust me, I get it. But go ahead. Eat that protein. It always depends too. If you're deep into prep and you're a few weeks out, you should probably just suck it up and understand that, hey, like there's a deadline here. I have to get on stage. Let's make sure I hit my numbers and be good. But I'm just talking for the average person, the lifestyle person who's just trying to get in better shape and doesn't have to take it quite as seriously. You can go ahead, eat some extra protein. It's not going to do anything. You don't have to worry about it. So that's my advice for you today. Any questions, please let me know. I will put the link to that study in the description below so you can check it out if you want. And I will talk to you next time.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving